in Savannah, as with much of the country, the 60s was a tumultuous time. Sit-ins, wait-ins, marches, and protests were familiar scenes across our landscape. During the fight for equal rights, a group of local students protested by staging wait-ins at the beach on Tybee Island. This morning, the story of an ordinary teen thrust into an extraordinary movement, and he has the picture to prove it.
I think that'll be me right there.
Sometimes history has a way of showing up.
It's kind of eerie because I lived this experience.
During a recent visit to the Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum, Vincent Hill found the photo he'd been searching for.
Summer 1963, that was the year that we decided to desegregate Tybee Island, Savannah Beach, as we know it now. And myself and two other members of the youth group for the NAACP was dropped off in the middle of downtown Tybee Island, and we went into the water. It was Memorial Day weekend, and so the beach was very crowded. And for the first time in my life, I was really afraid for my life. Well, we were being jeered and pushed around and, being surrounded, and you had no place to go. The only place you can go was in the ocean. You couldn't get, you couldn't run on land because we had no transportation, and we had no protection.
The discovery was by chance, but his decision to create change in a racially divided country was a conscious choice, one heavily influenced by Savannah civil rights giant W.W. Law and the local branch of the NAACP.
Mr. Law, W.W. Law, he was our neighbor and also our mail carrier. And, he was a very, determined man. And so he was good friends with my aunt. And so she got us involved in the movement.
Hill is one of many unsung heroes, an unfamiliar name with an unforgettable legacy.
He's standing next to Ben Van Clark. He's standing next to Carrie Orr. Those names of people who have already joined the ancestors. And he's showing me himself in this picture. And I was like, wow, this is great.
Vonette Good Walker is the director of the museum. She works to ensure stories like Hill's are documented for generations to come.
The stories that people tell about the movement, if the walls could talk here, that would be amazing, because a lot of these pictures that we see here, people come in, they recognize themselves, they recognize people that they know, and to actually have people come in and say, that's me in the picture when I was 13, 14, 15, in the movement, and then recognize them in their adult lives and who they have become is very important to us.
Though his name may be absent from these walls, Hill says he was prepared and present in the fight for justice. Now, at age 75, he is one of only 2 surviving freedom fighters in this photo. But Hill says that wasn't his first run-in with the law. At 13, he was arrested during a sit-in for fair treatment at a downtown department store lunch counter.
My first time being arrested was at a Crest counter, trying to go in for lunch, and was taken to jail. And then they took me to the youth center out on Eisenhower, I think it is, or President Street, whatever that is out there. And then the second time was at Crystal's downtown on Drayton Street. And that's how my life started, going to jail.
However, that's not where it ends. Hill became one of the first students to desegregate Savannah High School. Seniors handpicked by Mr. Law, who would go on to change the face of public education in the city.
It was also a very difficult experience at the beginning, because when you used to walk down the halls between classes, going to class and going to the gym, a lot of time I was accosted by a group of kids that would shove and push me. And one day I took offense to it, and I stood my ground, and I was just suspended for a week. But so the other kid that pushed me, he was also suspended. And after that, it never happened again.
Once he graduated, he wanted to get as far away from the South as he could. Hill left Savannah and joined the military to fight for freedoms not afforded to black citizens. He traveled the world, moving up in rank, serving in Korea, Germany, and Hawaii, where he retired as a master sergeant and now resides. Though he says memories of his hometown are both painful and pleasant, family is why he returns every now and then. each time sharing the story of how he played a role in such a pivotal point in history, one he hopes will never be erased or forgotten.
I think it's very important that, the history be told correctly. And I'm happy that, the director of the museum is still sharing our stories with the world.
And so are we. Because of the commitment of protesters like Vincent Hill and countless other activists on the front lines and behind the scenes locally and on a national scale, segregation legally ended in 1964. But some would argue that it never truly disappeared.
We invite you to tune in to our hour-long special as Kim Gusby shares the stories of local heroes who've made their mark on our community, our country, and the world. You can watch Honoring Black History this Sunday at 1 o'clock right here on WSAV.